First of all, welcome everybody. I'm glad you could all make it. My name is Puchmayr. I'm a New Westminster City Councillor, and sort of a local philanthropist. I do a lot of charity work and have a charity farm out on Barnson Island where we raise beef for our charity called the Beef with Hunger Society. Last year we delivered 80 ton of produce to nonprofit meal providers, and a lot of it went to the downtown east side. We have the healthiest homeless people in the downtown east side, and this year we anticipate doing even further. I really enjoy doing it. I had so much fun here last year doing this. And, we had a really good turnout, and such a huge crowd again this year, which is really remarkable, as long as he doesn't turn that thing. First, I'm going to do some bios, and I'm going to introduce our poet, our former poet laureate, who is now our poet laureate emerita. Did I say that right?
You did, Tom.
With men, it's emeritus, and with women, it's
emerita.
Candace James is a poet laureate emerita for New Westminster, a singer, a songwriter, a musician, a visual artist. She's the founder of the Royal City Literary Arts Society. She is founder of Poetic Justice, Poetry in the Park, Poetry New West, and past president of the Federation of BC Writers. She is the recipient of the Bernie Legg Arts and Culture Award and the Pandora's Collective Citizenship Award, and she is the author of 13 books of poetry published by 5 different publishing houses. 5 different publishing houses. We also have with us tonight Trevor Corlin. He is a poet and a journalist who began writing at 17 for the New Westminster Columbian. I used to read the New Westminster Columbian, and now I get it over at the library on the microfiche. He has published many books of nonfiction, poetry, translation, and anthologies. The international editor of Pacific Rim Review of Books. He teaches English and writing at the University of Fraser Valley. Recently, his documentary film Power Ground, which explores the environmental crisis through interviews with acclaimed writers and ecologists, was received enthusiastically at its premiere in Brussels. Welcome. And also with us, we have Calvin Wharton. He's a former chair of the creative writing at Douglas College in New Westminster, BC, and a former editor of the literary journal Event. He co-edited the poetry anthology, East of Maine. He has published widely, including a collection of stories, 3 songs by Hank Williams, a collection of poetry, The Song Collides, and most recently, a poetry chapbook, The Invention of Birds. That should be interesting. In the fall of 2006, he was writer in residence at the University of Wales, Trinity St. David. Welcome. So now, I think first we're going to call up our emerita poet laureate, Candace James, and she is going to entertain us with her jewels and gems.
I'm going to mime all my poems.
Oh, she's going to mime.